Hello YouTube! I'm gonna do a mom vlog. Yes, it's been so long since I have sat down and just talked about how things are going and how things have been since Natalie has been born. So the other day I made a 6-month vlog of her, like a 6-month update, and so I thought I've got to make a vlog. Am I straight here? I hope so. I've got to make a vlog about how things are going for me. One reason why I haven't done this in a while is because I always want to look good. Like I want to, straighten my hair and I don't know, just look cute, have more time to do my makeup or something, just kind of feel good about how I look. And oh my god, like nowadays, if I can just brush my teeth, put a little bit of concealer on with mascara, that's as much as I can do. Like that's an accomplishment. So every time I look back at my videos in recent times, I'm always like, oh, I don't look so good. I just feel like I don't feel good about myself. And that's something I wanted to talk about in this vlog, is sort of the emotional side of being 6 months postpartum, and the physical side. So starting with the emotional side and just kind of my mental state and that sort of thing. That sounded a little dramatic. My mental state, I've gone insane. I've just been having a hard time trying to find the time to put myself first, and also just like the motivation, the energy to try to look good and feel good. And I've never really been like super high maintenance, but I have, tried harder to kind of look and feel good, because when you do feel like you look good, you feel good, and I'm more patient and I just feel better about things in general. And lately I just haven't been able to put that time into myself, and I mean I could probably work at it a little bit, but I just haven't even had the motivation to. I'm just like, ugh. So I feel a little bit like in a slump in that way. And then weight loss and all of that, as you guys know, I've made vlogs on here about my weight and all of that, and yeah, you can kind of guess from the fact that I haven't been updating. It's not awful. I have not gained, but I haven't lost any weight since my 5-week challenge. And that's really discouraging, and it just kind of, I have this like negative voice in the back of my head making me question whether or not I'm ever going to be able to establish a good exercise activity kind of schedule and regimen, and eating clean like I want to. And it doesn't have to be all the time. Like I think that's unrealistic for myself, but even just 70%, 80% of the time to eat clean and to have 3 to 5 days of activity, it's like I know that's all I have to do, but for whatever reason, just like putting the time into myself, it's not just a matter of, oh, I'm so busy and I can't do it. I'm also just lacking the motivation, the drive to make that a priority. So yeah, it kind of sucks. It makes me feel like crap. So that's one thing that's been going on that I'm sort of trying to just be honest and open about, and kind of say it out loud, and then I can deal with it. So that's one thing. Another thing is how fast time is going, and Natalie just growing so quickly. I feel like the first 6 months of the first year go a little bit slower than the latter, and so I'm just like, oh my gosh, she's gonna be a year like that. And it terrifies me, and then I have to kind of pull myself back and remind myself that I need to be present and just be here now in this moment, because it's all we have, really, as cheesy or as what's the word, new age, I don't know, as it sounds. It really is all we have. We can't hold on to the past, and we can't predict the future. And so with children, I find that the moments that I cherish with my son, hold on, I think I hear a baby. No, okay. Sorry. The moments that I cherish the most with my son are those moments of just complete interaction and focus on him, and just being in that moment with him, which I guess is kind of funny because I said you can't hold on to the past, but you know what I mean. You can cherish those memories, and they help you build and all of that. So I'm just trying to kind of be here now, but I'm really struggling with it because I find myself, my mind is just sidetracked into so many other things. So that's one thing I wanted to mention. Another thing, I have a little list here. The last thing on kind of the emotional side of things, and then I'll talk about the physical, is the baby fever, family planning. There we go. I've been really conflicted with those kinds of thoughts and feelings, and so I'll go into that a little bit. You guys probably remember I mentioned having baby fever very soon after Natalie was born, and then I think I've mentioned it in one other vlog. So if you've watched those, then you already kind of know that this has been something that's kind of surprised me. I didn't think that I would have this desire to have more children. I really just thought we would have Sam and Natalie, and then in 4 or 5 years from now, if we were doing well financially and all of our debts are paid off and we're in a good place, then we would possibly adopt. And even that would take some convincing. Like, it's more my idea, and I kind of try to get my husband more on board. And that's something I've talked to him about since we very first met. You know, I've told him that that was a desire that I had, so it's no surprise or anything. But what is a surprise is that I just feel this really deep, deep desire to have one more biological child, and I'm surprised by it. I think I just said that. So I can't get over it. Right after Natalie was born, I think what I was feeling then was more missing the pregnancy, because the pregnancy was so great and it was so different than my first pregnancy because my life was so different. You know, being a teen mom who I was in a, you know, not a good relationship. I won't go so far to say abusive, but borderline. And then to, you know, fast forward 7, 8 years later and, you know, be married and have stability and have a man who's really standing by your side and had to have already been through these things. I just felt so much more laid back and ready and excited to have our daughter. And I was excited, of course, to have my son too, but it was just such a different experience. So because my pregnancy with Natalie to me was so wonderful, besides the morning sickness in the beginning, and the last couple weeks are rough too, but that's pretty normal for most people. But because it was so great, I think I was just missing that, and that's where the baby fever sort of feeling was coming from. And I also felt like, oh my God, she can't be my last baby. Like, I'm 24 years old. I'll be 25 in October. And I kind of kept thinking, like, no, I can't say that I'm done. Because a lot of times, as I'm sure many of you know, just everyone, society, family, whatever, they kind of decide for you. It almost feels like, oh, you have a boy and a girl, you should be done. And that sucks, and I now will never do that to anyone else. I don't think I did that before, but if I did, I'm sorry to those people. Because just because you have a boy and a girl does not mean that you would not want any more children. And in my family, like well, I can't say both of my parents, but a lot of people in my family really think that having 2 children is just perfect and ideal and you should just be done. And it's not that someone has said that like in a mean way to me or anything like that, but it's just sort of this thing in my family. We're more of like I'm from 3 and my husband's from a large family, but in like my parents, my aunts, my uncles, like a lot of our families have 2 kids. And so anyway, I don't know why I'm like going way off on this, I'm sorry. All I'm trying to say is I'm surprised by how much I want to have a 3rd child. And it's hard because Natalie and Sam are 7 years apart. So I really, really do not want a big age gap between Natalie and our 3rd child. And, you know, my husband's very happy with 2. And so that's, you know, another thing that I have to kind of consider and think about. And so anyway, maybe I'll make a video on that. I'm not sure. If you have any questions or any comments, let me know. Because it's something that's on my mind a lot. I'm just trying to figure out like the timing and, you know, is this what we really want? And there's so many great things about just having 2 kids. But yeah. Okay, let me look at my list before I get sidetracked again. The last thing on kind of the emotional sort of stuff is just like my career and what I'm gonna do and that sort of thing, which goes right in with family planning, because that's been a big struggle for me lately. Is I'm trying to decide, what do I want to do for the rest of my life? Like, what I'm about a year away from graduating college, and I have to decide. I'm really interested in a teaching degree, an education degree, and that's going to take me longer than a year. And then I'm trying to think like, okay, so if we waited 3 years to have a baby, then we'd have a baby right when I'm starting my career, and that sucks. I don't want to do that. I mean, having a baby is amazing, but like, you don't want to start a career and then have another baby, because I don't want I don't want my baby to be in daycare if she doesn't have to be. And anyway, so I just feel really conflicted about all of that, and I hope I'm not coming off like really negative or annoying, but it's just been on my mind, just kind of weighing on me lately, trying to figure out what I want. So I want this to be raw, and I want to be able to look back and kind of see where I was, and also connect with you guys, because I know that this is an issue a lot of women have, because we have to consider staying home, daycare, and how that's going to affect, our career and how many children we have and all of that. So, okay, on to the physical. Physically, dieting and all of that has been kind of up and down. As I mentioned, I already mentioned that, right? Didn't I? Oh my god, I cannot even remember what I was talking about now. And I'm already at 10 minutes. If you're still with me, you're awesome, because I don't even know what I'm talking about. So dieting and trying to lose weight. I don't even like calling it dieting. Yeah, I did talk about that. It hasn't been going so great. Another thing that's been really difficult is hair loss. Oh my freaking god, like hair loss. It's awful. My hair, when I was pregnant, it was like silk. It was like beautiful. Maybe it wasn't that beautiful, but it was pretty, okay? It was very pretty, and it was strong, and it was healthy. And before I was pregnant, it was normal, like it was normal, and then it just got better with my pregnancy, which of course happens to a lot of people. And then after, oh my god, 3 months postpartum, it was just like, I lose hair like no other. I cannot take my hair down without having to be close to a trash can so that I can put the, stringy hair in the trash, and it's awful. I have really thick hair, so thankfully you can hardly tell. The only place I can tell is like right up here in the front. I don't know if you can see that right there. But I can feel a difference. Like my hair does not feel the same as it did before, and it's just all over, and it's awful. So I try to brush it like twice a day, and then I take whatever falls out and throw it away, and that does help a lot, so it's not on my clothes and around so much, because that's the last thing you want is your baby to like have your hair in their mouth. That's never a good thing. So that's been stinky. I did get my first cycle when she was 4 months old. I don't know if I mentioned that or not, and I think it's because I started supplementing, because I am breastfeeding, but I think when I started supplementing, then I got it sooner. I'm on the mini pill, which is the progesterone only birth control, and I got it after being on that for a month. So it could be the pill, it could be supplementing, it's probably both, that kind of thing. My first cycle was very, very heavy and awful, and then since then I've had a period almost every 2 weeks, and it's not just spotting, like it's awful. So I don't know if it's the mini pill, I don't know what it is. If any of you have had this experience, let me know, because it's terrible, and I don't want to, I have to be on birth control right now, because as much as I think about having a third child, I don't want to have a 6-month-old and be pregnant, I mean, that's like just for me. I didn't mean that in a rude way. Like if other people want that, that's awesome, but that's probably not what I would choose. So what else is going on? I guess that's pretty much it for the most part with the physical stuff. I just kind of feel like I just need to have that focus that I had before of trying to get healthier and put myself first and get enough sleep at night and spend time on myself, and it's just really, really hard. And I know we all go through it as moms. It's hard to put yourself first, and it's a lot easier to just kind of go and not really be that worried about that kind of stuff. So anyway, that is it. I just wanted to touch base and talk about how things have been. So you guys let me know how you've been, and any suggestions on the mini pill stuff too. That's about it. Alright, thanks for watching. Bye.